Welcome to the Survivor's Handbook, Chapter 3, How to Use a Blood Bag and Other Medical Supplies. Before we begin, let us revisit a topic discussed in Chapter 2, Food and Drink, Blood and Health. As discussed, by maintaining a proper level of food and water, our survivor can regenerate blood over time. This can lead to the storing of multiple blood bags for emergency situations. For a complete guide to passive blood regeneration, please refer to Chapter 2, Food and Drink, Blood and Health. The first medical supply to discuss is the blood bag. The blood bag instantly restores 1,000 blood to the recipient simply by use. Before you administer a blood bag, however, precautions must be taken. A new feature of the DayZ Standalone is character-specific blood types. Before you give a player a transfusion, it is necessary to verify that the two blood types are compatible. To do this, you will need a blood testing kit. In the current build, a syringe is not needed to take a blood sample, but will most likely be necessary at some point. To perform a blood test on yourself, simply open your inventory, right-click the blood testing kit, and select Use. Since it is necessary to know the blood type of both the donor and recipient, another blood testing kit is needed. To test the blood of another player, you must place the blood testing kit in your hands, mouse scroll over the desired player, and use the action button to select Test Blood. The following table shows what blood types are compatible. Administering a blood bag kit to a target that is not a blood match will result in the death of the recipient. It should be noted that you can have someone administer a transfusion of your own blood to you at a later time. Once verification has been made that the recipient is of a compatible blood type, you may proceed to the donation. To facilitate this, you will need to loot a blood bag kit and an IV start kit. To donate blood, you will need the recipient or an assistant to collect the blood. Have them put the blood bag kit in their hands, use the mouse scroll wheel over the donor, and use the action button to begin collecting blood. Upon collecting blood, you will receive a filled blood bag in place of your empty blood bag kit. Simply drag this over an IV start kit to create a usable blood bag IV. Note that these blood bag kits can be stored for later use as long as they are not ruined. You can administer the blood bag by placing the blood bag IV into your hands, scrolling over the desired recipient, and using the action key to administer the transfusion. As infections are introduced to the game, you will most likely need to disinfect the site of injection for both blood and saline bags by using an alcohol tincture. As infections have yet to be introduced, this is currently not needed. Saline bags are another form of medical supply that instantly restore 500 lost blood to the recipient. In order to use these, you will first have to find a saline bag and IV starter kit. To attach the two, drag one over the other and choose the action that lets you attach them. This will enable the saline to be administered to another player. As with the blood bag, to administer the saline bag, place the saline bag IV into your hands, scroll over the desired recipient, and use the action key to administer the infusion. If you notice that your survivor is bleeding, either from the text in the bottom left, the bleeding icon on your status screen in the inventory pane, or from the copious amounts of blood coming from your player's body, you will need to patch this up pretty quickly. This can be done by using a bandage or rags. Either put the rags in your hand, mouse scroll, and use the action button to select Apply Bandage, or open your inventory, right-click the rags, and select Use. Note that alcohol tincture can be used to clean rags, even ruined ones, to make them pristine. If you see the warning in the chat panel that your leg is hurting, or you notice that your character can't walk or run, but instead lies down and moves prone, you will need to repair your leg. This can be done via two methods. Traditionally, survivors used morphine to cure the ailments of a broken leg. This still works. However, if you are unable to find such supplies, you can resort to crafting a wooden splint, if you have a fireman's or splitting axe. Simply walk, or in this case crawl, over to a tree, put your axe in your hand, mouse scroll over the tree, and use the action button to select Chop Wood. Continue to do this until the tree is down and the wood is either in your inventory or on the ground in the immediate area. Place one of the fallen logs into your inventory and right-click it with your axe to divide it into thirds. This will place 3 sticks in your bag that can be used for crafting various things. Drag the sticks over a rag or bandage to create a wooden splint. Use the splint to repair your leg. In the standalone, You will notice that when you are knocked unconscious, your screen becomes black. Your character will naturally awaken from this state, assuming you don't die within the allotted time, when your shock value drops below your current blood value. 2 items are in place to immediately reduce your shock value to 0, thus waking you up. However, neither of these items can be used by the unconscious player and must be administered by another survivor. Epinephrine is a single-use pen that will wake someone up and be consumed on use. To use this, simply place the item in your hands, mouse wheel over the unconscious survivor, and use the action button and select the option to use the pen. The defibrillator can be used in the same manner, but before it can be used, it must be charged by a battery. Charcoal tabs can be used to cure food poisoning. It also cures the sickness from drinking an alcohol tincture. As of the current build, painkillers appear to have no use. When infections and illnesses are introduced, the following items should have some relevant use. Disinfectant spray will be used to disinfect items you find so that they will not transfer any disease or illness left on them by the previous owner. As of now, its only use is to force feed to other players to cause them chemical poisoning. Injection vials may be used to store antibiotics. Tetracycline antibiotics have a 90% chance to cure salmonellosis. Vitamin bottles are used to give the survivor a 75% prevention chance of disease and can treat diseases with a 50% success rate. Water purification tablets will be used to sterilize water to prevent disease from contaminated water.